I couldn't believe my luck when Jason, the most popular guy in school, asked me to be his prom date. My excitement was palpable as I picked out the perfect dress and got ready for the night that would change everything. The old, abandoned mansion at the edge of town was rumored to be the venue, and the idea of dancing the night away in such an eerie setting only added to the thrill. As we approached the mansion, the moonlight shone down on its decaying walls, casting an ominous glow. The grand entrance was adorned with cobwebs, and the air felt heavy with history and secrets. But I shrugged off the feeling, eager to be swept up in the magic of prom night. Inside, the mansion seemed both enchanting and sinister. Dim chandeliers flickered above, illuminating the grand ballroom. The music played and couples twirled in a graceful dance. Jason and I joined the other prom-goers, but a strange sense of foreboding gnawed at my heart. As the night wore on, I noticed a peculiar group in the corner. They wore outdated prom attire, their faces masked with an eerie pallor. Jason told me they were reenactors, adding an eerie twist to the prom experience. I laughed off the unsettling sight, trying not to let it dampen my spirits. In the middle of the night, as the clock struck 12, the atmosphere shifted. The chandeliers swayed ominously, and the music slowed to a haunting waltz. A voice echoed through the hall, its haunting melody sending shivers down my spine. It seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. The group of reenactors in the corner moved to the center of the dance floor, their movements synchronized and eerie. They danced as if controlled by invisible puppet strings, their eyes locked onto the prom-goers with an unsettling intensity. Jason leaned in, his breath hot against my ear, and whispered, "Let's join them. It's all part of the experience." His voice seemed distant, as if he were under a trance. My instincts screamed at me to refuse, but I found myself nodding, unable to resist. As we stepped into the circle, the world around us blurred and the room seemed to fade away. All that remained was the haunting waltz and the intense gaze of the masked dancers. I tried to pull away, but it was as if an unseen force bound me to the dance. As the music reached a crescendo, the reenactors' masks started to change, contorting into grotesque expressions of pain and sorrow. Panic gripped me, and I searched for an escape route, but the mansion had become a labyrinth of darkness. Whispers surrounded us, eerie voices that seemed to emanate from the very walls. "Join us," they beckoned. "Dance with the spirits of the past." I knew then that something sinister lurked within this mansion, something that hungered for souls lost in time. Jason's grip on my hand tightened, his eyes glazed over, and he moved with the grace of a puppet on strings. The dance became more frenzied, and the reenactors' movements grew erratic and menacing. I realized we were dancing with the spirits of those who had perished in this haunted place. Fear consumed me, and I fought against the malevolent energy surrounding us. In that desperate struggle, I caught a glimpse of a tattered book lying on a nearby table. It was old, its pages yellowed with age, but something compelled me to open it. The pages were filled with haunting stories of love, betrayal, and tragic endings that had taken place within the mansion's walls. The more I read, the more I felt connected to the spirits trapped in this cursed place. With newfound determination, I mustered the strength to break free from the dance. I grabbed Jason's hand and ran through the dark corridors, the haunting waltz still echoing in our ears. The mansion seemed to protest our escape, as if unwilling to release its captives. Finally, we burst through the grand entrance into the moonlit night. As we stepped away from the mansion, the music faded into the distance. The weight of the past lifted and the mansion appeared lifeless once more. I never returned to that mansion again, but the memories of that prom night lingered, forever etched in my mind. I often wonder if the spirits of the past still dance their haunting waltz, waiting for unsuspecting souls to join their spectral ranks. And I pray that no one else falls victim to the cursed dance of that prom night gone horribly wrong. Prom night, the one night every high school student dreams about. I had been eagerly waiting for this magical evening, and my excitement reached its peak when my crush, Lucas, asked me to be his date. The venue was a grand mansion on the outskirts of town, known for its opulent parties and mysterious history. As the night approached, the mansion stood tall, adorned with twinkling lights and grandeur. My heart fluttered with anticipation as I slipped into my elegant gown, ready for a night of enchantment. As we entered the mansion, a wave of awe washed over me. The ballroom was unlike anything I'd ever seen. The chandeliers sparkled like stars, and the dance floor gleamed like moonlight. It was as if we had stepped into a fairy tale. The theme of the night was a masquerade, and everyone wore intricate masks that concealed their identities. The atmosphere was intoxicating, filled with laughter and lively chatter. For a while, everything felt perfect. But as the night progressed, strange occurrences tainted the joyous atmosphere. Whispers of cold drafts circulated among the guests, and the music seemed to change into a haunting melody. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, but soon the eerie incidents became impossible to ignore. I caught glimpses of masked figures lurking in the shadows, their eyes fixated on us like predators stalking their prey. Every time I turned to look at them directly, they vanished, leaving only an unsettling chill down my spine. Lucas, ever the skeptic, brushed off my concerns, attributing them to the effect of the masquerade ambiance. But I knew there was something more sinister at play. As the night wore on, I decided to confront the host of the party, a mysterious figure known only as Mr. Blackwood. I found him standing alone in a dimly lit corner, his mask a raven's beak adding to his enigmatic aura. "You've created a beautiful event, Mr. Blackwood," I said, trying to maintain my composure. He turned to me, and his eyes, gleaming like black marbles, seemed to pierce my soul. "Ah, my dear, the night is still young. The real magic has yet to unfold." His cryptic response sent shivers down my spine, and I retreated from his presence, feeling a growing sense of unease. As the clock struck midnight, the mansion took on a life of its own. Candles flickered with an unnatural intensity, casting dancing shadows on the walls. The masquerade masks began to contort, their designs warping into grotesque expressions. Lucas and I found ourselves isolated from the rest of the guests, as if we were caught in a sinister dream. The haunting melody of the music intensified, and the air became heavy with an otherworldly presence. In a panic, we attempted to leave, but the mansion seemed to shift its layout, trapping us within its dark corridors. Our hearts pounded in fear as we desperately searched for an escape route. With each turn, the mansion twisted, as if toying with us. At times, the walls pulsated like a beating heart, and the portraits on the walls seemed to come alive, their eyes following our every move. As we reached a dead end, we found ourselves facing a grand mirror, its frame adorned with chilling engravings. Our reflections seemed distorted, wearing expressions of torment and anguish. Suddenly, the mirror shattered into 1,000 pieces, and a chorus of eerie laughter echoed through the mansion. From the shards emerged the masked figures that had been haunting us all night. With each step we took backward, they moved closer, their movements synchronized and hauntingly elegant. The masks they wore were no longer mere disguises. They were now their true faces, contorted by malevolent spirits. I clutched Lucas's hand, and together we ran through the mansion, the masked phantoms pursuing us. The walls seemed to close in, suffocating us with the mansion's dark history. In the midst of the chaos, we stumbled upon a hidden passage that led us outside, and without hesitation, we dashed into the moonlit night. As we caught our breath, we looked back at the mansion, which now stood quiet and serene, as if nothing had ever happened. It was as if the malevolent spirits had retreated into the shadows, awaiting their next unsuspecting victims. Lucas and I made a pact never to speak of that night again. But the memory of the haunted masquerade will forever linger, a reminder that some secrets are best left undisturbed, and that behind the facade of grandeur, darkness may lie waiting to ensnare those who dare to venture too close.